Sonus Faber has been making some of the best looking speakers in hi-fi for decades. They're really known for two things, that loop-shaped cabinet and a warm, expressive sound, especially through the mid-range, which is where voices and most instruments sit. Their last big release was the high-end Amati Supreme late last year, and now they're back with a full reinvention of their best-selling range, the Olympica, which is now in its third generation. So in this video, we'll cover everything there is to know about this new collection, and we'll give you our review of the Olympica 3 floor standard, so make sure you stay till the end of the video. The Olympica G3 range streamlines the model selection and now consists of two floor standards, the Olympica 3 and the Olympica 5. There is also the Olympica 1, which is a stand mount speaker, a center channel, and an on-wall speaker. Here at Premium Sound, we were privileged to receive the new floor standing Olympica 3 before the official release date and had a chance to listen to them in our demo room, so we'll give you our honest take on how they actually sound. Now, to understand these speakers, it's worth looking at how the Olympica range evolved over the years. For a long time, Olympica had been a key part of the Sonus Faber lineup. It was their first relatively accessible high-end speaker that combined the company's signature technologies with everything made in Italy at a price that opened the brand up to more people. Now, Sonus Faber had been making more affordable ranges as well, such as the Lumina and the Sonetto, but they were never quite the voice of Sonus Faber like the Olympicas were. But when the second generation Sonetto range released in 2024, we immediately thought it would be a very successful range. It is a range made in Italy and inherited a lot of the tech and design principles originally reserved for the Olympica Nova. So suddenly, it felt like a lot of people realized the gap between those two lines became a whole lot smaller. And that presented a clear challenge for Sonus Faber. If the new Sonetto was now delivering so much of what made the Olympica Nova special, the next generation of Olympica had to move the benchmark forward. So it needed to offer a meaningful step up in performance, and as a result, we now have the new Olympica G3. It's a speaker that now shows a much clear distinction between Sonetto and Olympica ranges in terms of sound. The Olympica name comes from Teatro Olimpico, a Renaissance theatre designed by Andrea Palladio. If you've never seen it, it's worth looking up, and if you ever get the chance, visit it in person. It's in Vicenza, which is also where Sonus Faber is based, so you can see why it inspired them. Now, looking at the range closer, this is the most technologically advanced Olympica collection to date. Sonus Faber have made at least 10 major changes to the new range, and this is really noteworthy. The aesthetics of the G3 collection keeps that asymmetric loop-shaped cabinet, but does also add some refinements. The biggest visual shift is a new 45-degree handcrafted herringbone wood veneer, and it's a nod to the flagship Stradivari towers. Also, the G3 models now feature the Sonus Faber SF initials embossed right into the wood veneer, which probably gives it a bit more identity. Many of the visual elements resemble the classic Sonus Faber design. One example is the leather trim surrounding the drivers. The leather used here is very refined and slim, unlike coercer leather found on earlier generations of the Olympica. I would say it gives it a more elegant and luxurious feel. Now, in terms of colors, there are only two. The pair we have in our demo room comes in a fresh new Wengi finish, which is a darker African hardwood, but there is also an option for a walnut finish, which is a slightly lighter color. The previous range is also offered in gloss black, but it's not offered in this range. One of the most distinct elements is the metalwork around the cabinet, and it's taken a massive step up compared to the older range. The basic silver aluminium from the Nova series is gone and is replaced by titanium finish with diamond cut edges. Interestingly, it does provide a functional improvement and not just a better look. This frame directly increases the mechanical rigidity around the drivers, and basically it acts like a clamp on the entire cabinet. So this significantly reduces the internal vibrations, and as a result, the overall rigidity of the cabinet is much greater compared to other ranges. Now, the interesting aspect of the whole metal structure on the rear of the speaker is that it actually serves as a port. It's a very clever vertical port system, and it works well both aesthetically and sonically. For those who don't know Sonus Faber's speaker well, here's a cool tip. The left and right speaker are not the same, and because of the asymmetrical cabinet shape, these speaker ports face in opposite directions. However, that means that you can choose to place the speakers with the ports firing inwards for more air accumulating at the back wall, or you can choose to place the speakers with the ports firing outwards for more airflow through the cabinets. The speakers will sound differently depending on the placement. The Olympica G3 collection feels like a masterclass in product management, bringing together the absolute best innovations under one roof. To start with, the Olympica Nova used a standard die-cast aluminum basket to control vibrations, whereas for the G3, Sonus Faber threw that out and brought in their patented die-cast aluminum organic basket pulled straight from the massive Suprema system. With an open design, there is more room for the driver to breathe completely freely, minimizing air compression, which helps deliver a very natural sound. At the top of the speaker, we have a classic Sonus Faber tweeter design. It's a soft-toned silk tweeter featuring a dampening element which, together with the arrow point waveguide, helps eliminate the phase reversal and high frequency breakup that can plague traditional soft-tone designs, while also extending high frequency dispersion. This extends the frequency response higher and adds more articulation than any other previous Sonus Faber speaker in this bracket. Next, the floor-standing models have a separate mid-range driver which has probably undergone the biggest change. They step up from the traditional paper pulp cone to the new Camelia driver, originally developed for the ultra high-end Suprema system and is now used for the new Sonetto and Olympica range, with Olympica offering a superior no-compromise version of this technology. It utilizes an unpainted membrane inspired by the asymmetrical shape of the Camelia flower. This specific geometry isn't just a design statement, it purposely disrupts the symmetric resonance modes inherent to standard circular cones and ensures an absolute neutral and pure tone. One of the other important changes is a solid aluminium phase plug in the middle of the driver, which acts as a mechanical acoustic guide. This element optimizes off-axis frequency response, ensuring the sweet spot is really wide even if you're listening off the side of the speaker. It's worth noting that the dedicated 5.5-inch mid-range driver is only used in the floor standards. The stand mount and the on-wall speakers feature the same drive, but it's 6.5 inches. So it's slightly larger and it has been specifically redesigned to handle both mid-range and low frequencies. Speaking of bass, the low frequency drivers in the floor standards have also been completely redesigned. They incorporate the organic basket technology mentioned earlier, which helps reduce unwanted resonances. In our listening test, we certainly felt the difference, so this definitely contributes to a cleaner and more natural low frequency performance compared to the previous range. One major unifying engineering principle across the entire range is how the drivers are mounted and controlled. Every speaker features a very solid aluminium CNC machine flange and ring. With these new woofers, we now get a brand new fabric suspension, and this increases agility over the older rubber suspension found in the previous generation of Olympica. Now, we haven't opened the cabinet ourselves, of course, but another big change that Sonus Faber did is to completely abandon the standard synthetic dampening material. Instead, it features a cork structure. Cork naturally absorbs a lot of waves, and it does the job really well without packing the cabinet full of heavy material. It's a really cool way to reduce resonance. And now onto the next upgrade, the crossover is also brand new. Simply put, the crossover is the traffic control for your music. It keeps the timing between all the drivers properly aligned so the sound arrives as one coherent whole rather than slightly smeared. Sonus Faber had to redesign the crossover for all the new drivers used in the speaker, so that promises an upgrade in sound quality as well. Now, speaking of sound, we've had the new Olympica speakers playing in our demo room for a good couple of hours, and what we can tell is that the new range definitely sounds different from the previous generation in terms of overall character. To be fair, we really liked the previous generation Olympica because it had a very refined, organic and richly textured sound. Like with any Sonus Faber speaker, we have come to expect an engaging mid-range and smooth treble. The new Olympica keeps all that refinement and adds some energy and charisma to the sound. What we found is that these new speakers have a more playful and lively presentation. They still deliver music in a beautifully orderly and refined way, whether you're listening to hard rock such as the Foo Fighters, or something more jazz oriented like Diana Krall, or even more electronic music like Massive Attack. Honestly, the variety of music that sounds sweet, natural and organic on these is wide. You'll often find that certain speakers excel only in specific genres, whereas the new Olympicas perform exceptionally well across a wide range of music, which probably makes them very universally appealing. In terms of partnering equipment, we definitely felt that they like an amp that can deliver a decent amount of current. McIntosh is a sister company, and of course it is a classic pairing, but even with a variety of other amps, they seem to sound really well. For example, we use them with the Enleum AMP-54R, which is a smart Class A integrated amp, and it was a great pairing. The bottom line is that these speakers are, again, not just for looks. They have substance and heart that is undeniable. After listening to them on a variety of equipment and musical genres, we think that they will appeal to many listeners. However, we certainly recommend trying different amps to see see what you like the most, because certain things can stand out according to the music you prefer. Ultimately, what Sonus Faber has done with the Olympica G3 is really fascinating. In hi-fi, it's often hard to combine the beautiful design with great sound, but Sonus Faber have been doing this for years and they've done it once again. You can almost view these speakers as a piece of art, which can also be useful and practical. So it's not only about the leathery inserts and good-looking cabinets, Sonus Faber is all about hi-fi quality. Now, let's address the pricing. The stand mount Olympica 1 is £10,000 per pair. The smaller floor standard Olympica 3 is £20,000. The bigger Olympica 5 is £25,000. If you're planning on building a home cinema setup, the matching center speaker is priced at £9,300, and lastly the on-walls are priced at £6,500 per channel. The matching stand for the Olympica 1 is priced at £1,600. We will make sure to provide links to our website in the description for all of these speakers. The new Olympica 3 is already in our showroom and you can book a demo through our website. Links will be in the description down below. If you have any questions about how they compare to the older Olympica range, get in touch with our team. We know all about the old range, all about the new range, and any other Sonus Faber ranges for that matter. We love talking about details, so do get in touch and we'll guide you through the options. Thanks for sticking till the end. Don't forget to hit that like button, enable notifications, and subscribe to the channel. If you're looking for what to watch next, you can also check out some of our other high-end speaker overviews right here. And until next time, happy listening.